to it. Let's start with why study graduate entry pharmacy. So I just want to give you a little bit of context to start. The Monash University Faculty of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences teaches in two sort of distinct disciplines that are linked. So we've got pharmacy programs and teaching students to become a pharmacist, essentially the person who helps us take the medicines. And we also have pharmaceutical science programs, teaching people to become pharm scientists. They're the people who help us make the medicines. But you're all here for pharmacy, so let's go back to that. What is a pharmacist and what do they do? We like to describe pharmacists as medicines experts who mostly work directly with patients and healthcare teams. They're part of the wider health professional network or pipeline, and within that, they're the medicines experts. So when you think about all the different professionals who work in healthcare, they all have different areas of expertise and therapies, and pharmacists are really the people that know all about medicines inside and out and how they interact with the body. Collectively as a profession, they aim to ensure that we're taking medicines accurately, safely, and also so that we're using them and getting the most out of them, I guess, accessing them in the best way. You've probably had an interaction with a pharmacist in your lifetime, and it may have been in a community setting, which is just one place where pharmacists are found. Pharmacists are found in communities, they're found in hospitals, but they're also found in so many different other areas of healthcare. Areas such as healthcare regulation, which is about looking at the use, flow, and safety of medicines in a community from a population's perspective. They're also found in academia, making sure that we do the correct research that teaches how to manage our medications, again, both at the populations and the individual level. I think something that's really great about a pharmacy program is that there are lots of jobs available for pharmacists out there, and there are a diverse range of jobs where you can practice in pharmacy and direct patient care, but also in the wider sort of idea of medication management, which may not be in dispensing medications or directly with patients so much. Pharmacy is a registered profession, which means that you have to complete a Bachelor of Pharmacy according to Australian guidelines to practice in Australia, and it's also a worldwide profession. So pharmacists are found all over the world. They work in many different contexts and many different systems of healthcare, and you can study with us and register in Australia, or you can study with us and go overseas and register to work as a pharmacy professional in a different healthcare context as well. This next slide just shows a bunch of career opportunities for pharmacists. I've already sort of referred to some. There's more information in the 2021 course guide that was on the web page that I chatted to you earlier today. And also as part of that brochure, there's a really great article written by the Pharmaceutical Society of Australia called Roles and Remunerations for Pharmacists in 2023. It talks a little bit about what they envisage the future of the profession to look like. And there are some really interesting roles emerging in pharmacy in the future as we integrate the profession, the whole of healthcare really, with technology in particular community needs. Okay, so now you know a little bit about what a pharmacist does and where they can go. Why study Monash graduate entry pharmacy in particular? Well, you may or may not be aware, but we've got a really great reputation, both locally and globally. So we're really highly regarded, not just in Australia and the Asia Pacific, but the whole world. Just this year in 2020, according to the QS World Rankings by subject, we were ranked number 2 in the world for pharmacy and pharmacology. Only Oxford University ranked higher, and they don't even have a pharmacy program. Really, their rankings are all on the back of their pharmacology research, which is sort of more towards pharm-sci. So we really like to think that we've got this really unique, innovative, world-first pharmacy program that you could be the recipient of. Whilst we get our rankings from our pharmacy and pharmacology research, we also do a lot of research into something that directly impacts you guys, which is science education. We're really, really interested in the way to teach science so that it makes it a really engaging, interactive, useful experience for the student and really helps prepare them for the future of the profession. These are sort of the 4 pillars that we've come up with based on our research as to how to best teach pharmacists. And what you will find if you do commence our graduate entry pharmacy program is that your study experience will probably be quite different to your experience of studying your bachelor's degree. We do some pretty unique things. Not only do we employ techniques such as active learning, which is something you might be familiar with, we've got a real focus on employability. In fact, pretty much half of the pharmacy program is practical placement. That blends into experiential learning as well. And because our faculty is single focus and small, you're really sort of growing your professional networks from day one and making your networks through your placements for your future job opportunities. Something that's also really unique to us at the faculty is that you will be put in a skills coach group if you join us. So that basically means that in small groups of your peers, between 10 to 12 students and an academic or a practitioner from the profession, you will basically learn a bunch of skills in context that will be useful to you for the future of your profession, but also transform you personally. The small groups are really great because they help you transition into the faculty really easily. They give you that sense of belonging really quickly, that sense of community. They connect you to someone who's teaching you really early on. You'll travel with your skills coach, I think, for the whole year of the program, and they'll help you make friends really easily too. Now, you guys could be anywhere in the world right now, so I'm not too sure how much you know about Monash and Monash Parkville, but do bear with me if some of this information is old news or repeated for you. Basically, Monash University is Australia's largest university. We take the largest amount of students, more than any other university in Australia. And most of our campuses in Melbourne, Victoria, are located in the south side of Melbourne. But we're a little bit different at pharmacy. We have our own campus, a satellite campus located in the suburb of Parkville, which is just one suburb away from Melbourne's central business district. It's highly accessible by public transport, and it's a really lovely place to study, live and work in. This is a photo of our campus, so you can see it's not very big, but what we don't have in size, we certainly make up for in terms of our rankings and our strong community. The single purpose means that we're all experts in medicine. We've got a really strong focus, and it's really easy to transition into the faculty as well because everyone speaks the same language, no matter where they're from in the world, which is the language of chemistry. We're also located in a really cool part of Melbourne that's called the Medical and Biotech Precinct. It's actually really highly ranked in the world. It's in the top 10 precincts of its kind in the world, And it involves a bunch of research institutions, educational institutions, and industry organisations that are all looking to further the science of biomedicine. Basically, being a part of this strip sort of puts us in the world's eye, and it also means that we're able to collaborate really easily with other institutions and organisations that are located just on our doorstep. But not only that, it's really great, even though we are a small faculty and physically small, it's really great to be part of Australia's largest university. We have so many support services and activities tailored to our students on our campus, but we also really encourage all other students to explore the many, very many resources that the wider Monash affords as well. Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the program and how it works, how you'll study, what you'll study, that sort of thing. So, in Australia, in order to register as a pharmacist, you need to study for a minimum of 5 years. The 5th year is always a paid internship. If you wanted to be a pharmacist straight out of high school, you'd come into year 1 into our Bachelor of Pharmacy, Master of Pharmacy program and do the whole 5-year program. I should have mentioned as well is that the reason I'm telling you about the school leaver program is because grad entry is a bit easier to understand in the context of our full degree. So where was I? 5 years minimum study required to become a pharmacist straight out of high school. Now, every other university in the country will offer you a Bachelor of Pharmacy or a Bachelor of Pharmacy Honours that generally takes 4 years to complete. After those 4 years, you'll undertake your paid internship in a 5th year, but you'll just have graduated with a Bachelor of Pharmacy or Bachelor of Pharmacy Honours. What we've done, and we revamped this program after all our scientific education research, was we decided to take that 5-year time frame and award the student 2 degrees at the end of it. The 5th year still includes a paid internship, but basically we've embedded a number of master's levels units from year 3 that you will start studying in your 1st year of grad entry, you'll finish them off in your 5th year, and that will basically qualify you for that higher qualification as well. Again, we're the only pharmacy school in the country to have done this. So no graduates currently have this qualification out in market. We're going to get our 5th years from next year, our first lot of 5th years from next year. But certainly after that, should you choose to study grad entry pharm, you'll be graduating with this higher qualification into a market where nobody really has it. Now, how it works for graduate entry pharmacy is this. So to be eligible for graduate entry pharmacy, we say you need to have completed a relevant science-based undergraduate degree. Some really good examples of this are things like biomedical science, pharm-sci even, or science with particular units. You have to have made up particular prerequisites like chem, methods, and physiology as well. Now, once you've completed that degree, we basically give you 2 years credit, the first 2 years of the program's credit, and allow you to enter into year 3. However, you can now see on the screen a couple of extra things, Bridge to Practice 1 and Bridge to Practice 2. Even though in your bachelor's degree, you've accumulated all this really great relevant scientific knowledge, we've got to give you some pharmacy context and we've got to do it pretty quickly. So Bridge to Practice 1 is a summer school that starts in early January. It's an intensive 6.5-week compulsory school. You do need to complete a hurdle assessment in order to come into year 3 of the program. You'll meet our 3rd years who left high school and then joined pharmacy from the time of leaving, but you'll also have to do another little overload unit called Bridge to Practice 2, which will again bring you more up to speed with the pharmacy context. After you've done that, you're pretty much in the same stream as our school leaver third years. You'll do your year 4 and your year 5. That includes that paid internship. Now, this is what our course map looks like. So you guys can discount years 1 and 2, unless you're in high school and just doing a bit of research. But most of you will probably be able to discount those first 2 years because year 3 is what you'll come into. You'll see in year 3 that you complete what's called more comprehensive care units, basically learning about particular diseases and how medicines can treat those diseases in relation to the body. You'll also do student experiential placements, so that's placements right from the moment you start really. And inquiry and innovation methods involves the research project that contributes to your master's qualification later on. It doesn't quite look like it here, but year 4 is pretty much a year of placement. All the placements are they're actually organised for you by the faculty, so you don't need to find them. There are a range of community, hospital settings, and also rural and other particular settings if you'd like. Again, year 5 is that paid internship, but you also do need to do some study. Again, it's a registration requirement. That's basically called an intern training program that teaches you how to be a good supervised intern for that year. Now, this is our instructional model. So again, we teach in a pretty unique way at Parkville, and this is an acronym that sort of sums it up. Basically, you'll have to learn actively, individually through your discovery days, which involve you pre-reading a bunch of materials so that you can come to class and explore it in interactive lectures where you will be forced, for want of a better word, to interact with the lecturer. You'll get to apply your knowledge at things like your placements, and certainly most of our pharmacy students also work in pharmacies just casually throughout their degree, and some feedback we always get from them is that they learn something about something in class, a particular medicine, and they'll see it in practice like the next week, a very rare experience in the world today. And then basically there's close the loop lectures which allow you to reflect on everything that you've learned in relation to a particular theme or topic. This instructional model coincides with certain days, so you'll know which days you're at uni, which days you're not, which days you do discovery, which days you're out on placement. So it makes life, I guess, pretty easy to plan, at least at the start. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about admission into the program. So there are 2 grad entry pharm study options. There's the 4-year version, the Bachelor of Pharmacy Honours, for international students only, and there's a 5-year, okay, sorry, I should talk about this in the graduate, in the context of grad entry pharmacy. Basically, we have 2 pharmacy courses. We've got a 2-year version, that's just a Bachelor of Pharmacy Honours, and a 3-year version, that is a Bachelor of Pharmacy Honours, Master of Pharmacy. The 2-year version is available to international students only because it doesn't include that 3rd year, which is that year that makes you eligible for registration in Australia. If you are an international student and you want to go home and register in your home country, or even just go abroad and register anywhere really, you don't need to complete that 3rd year. And you're more than welcome to change your mind halfway through your program as well. In terms of eligibility, so we require a completed, relevant, science-based degree at the undergraduate level. You need to complete a number of prerequisites. Human physiology, at least 1 unit. You need to have shown us you have an understanding of chemistry, higher level maths, and English. These prerequisites can be met at the tertiary level or at the high school level, the year 12 level. It's not required, but it is recommended for you to have a foundation in subjects like biochem and pharmacology. If you've taken those kinds of subjects, you'll probably really enjoy the program. And what we're looking for is a distinction average, a minimum distinction average. It does appear that due to COVID-19, we might be relaxing the average requirement just a little bit, but I don't have any formal information that I can share with you yet. So please, if you are interested in that information, the link that I chatted you at the start has a link to our graduate entry mailing list. Please ensure you sign up to keep in touch with us. All right, let's talk summer school, because it is a little bit of a commitment to be starting summer school with us 5 days a week, 9 to 5, when all your other friends are hanging out at the beach. We are a little bit unsure as to how things will happen with COVID-19 in terms of the dates. However, I was in a meeting just last week about this very topic, and it does look like we will be starting in early January. Again, due to COVID-19, if you are residing overseas, there'll probably be some sort of online option for you to commence your studies with us. So at this point in time, the starting date is the 6th of January 2021. And we expect quite a bit of learning in that 6.5 intensive weeks to be on campus. So it's really good if you can get here, even for that start date. When I say intensive learning, classes will be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but it's just for these 6.5 weeks. We sort of recommend students don't necessarily work during that time, so that's something to keep in mind. However, talking to some grad entry students, they still do choose to, or they need to. You'll see there's a hurdle requirement, so you do need to pass an assessment, Bridge to Practice 1, at the end of Bridge to Practice 1 to go into Bridge to Practice 2. But we haven't had, I don't think, any students so far in the 2 years that we've been teaching the program this way not pass that assessment. At the end of February, which is sort of just before semester 1 starts, you'll get your results, and intermission is available if there are those of you out there who are interested in taking a break, deferring your place essentially in the program. You would look to start the actual program then in 2022, but I believe very few students do this. And again, you will need to overload at the start of year 3 in that Bridge to Practice 2 unit. Okay, application timelines. So if you're a domestic student, applications open on the 3rd of August this year. They're made direct to Monash and it's free to apply. We really encourage you to apply sooner rather than later, even if your results haven't been fully released, like you haven't gotten your final transcript yet. Conditional offers can be made. You can provide us your final results once you have them. Applications close on the 11th of December for domestic students. So hopefully that gives you enough time, if you're still in your final year, to get your transcript done and dusted and then commence with us in early January. If you're an international student, you can apply anytime. Right now, there is a fee to apply. And your application closing date is a little bit earlier, 15th of November. And the reason we make it a bit earlier is because we want to give you a response so that you have time to get your visa and flights and things organised. Make sure that to get a full offer, you need to submit all hard copy original supporting documentation by the closing date, the application. There will be, again, due to COVID-19, there will be some sort of flexibility in this if you, for some reason, can't get a transcript or things like that. So do make sure you keep in touch with us. We can help you out there. And if you have any problems or questions about lodging your application, please contact us online or at 1800 Monash to speak to someone.